Over here in the upper right, he needs to win this game and the next. He is.
Squirtle.
To the bottom left, in the red. He's a legend. There he is.
Stork.
All this silent beginning of this Protoss versus Protoss. It's the calm before the storm, tasteless.
Calm before the Stork, Wolf.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, cross spots here. They're very far apart. But that doesn't always mean as much in a PvP because you can warp in units right away.
If the game goes past 2 base, both players allow each other to take 2
yeah,
bases.
then it's pretty hard for them to kill each other.
Yeah, it becomes really important and the game goes very long most of the time. Usually you get to see this exciting battle of who builds the better composition and how they use it. So it's going to be a little while before they find out where each other are. And they're... Let's see who scouts first, actually. This is going to be Stork.
So Squirtle deciding that he's better off not scouting, instead using that worker to get a few extra minerals. And Squirtle also essentially telling us he feels fine versus basically anything that Stork has to throw at him. Which tells us he's got a very well-rounded, safe build.
Yeah.
Not a lot of corner cutting, not a lot of risks involved here. We don't really know what Stork's going to do, and we still see that he's scouted early. We'll have to wait until the cybernetic score is done. Speaking of which, they both start at about the same time.
Yeah. I mean, there's no early gates, no sort of fast like 3 gateway warp-in type of attack coming out of either of these guys. And their scouts are actually not quite bump into each other. Is he gonna scout cross first? Looks like it. Squirtle checks across, and then Stork will find him just a little bit faster with his re-rallied scout.
Okay, and we have the Twilight Council being started here by Squirtle. Let's see if the scouting probe from Stork can get in there. There's nothing that's going to be able to contest this, so he will see this. Now the question is, how will he use this? Is he going to go for Blink? He doesn't maybe care that Stork sees it. Will he maybe not use it at all and just switch his tech up?
If I were Stork, I would make a Nexus and then a Robo, but he's going to go for a defensive Twilight Council. Looks like
Blink is sometimes the best counter to somebody else's Blink.
Then even sometimes in the past in this matchup, the best counter would be DTs to their Blink because you know they had no detection, but everybody is incorporating robotics into their build now.
Well, Blink plus Observer is just so strong.
We saw it in the last game. You get your own Blink out, and you get an Obs, and you're gonna just be fine against almost anything that gets thrown at you. So I guess taking the Nexus would be a little bit riskier, so he doesn't feel as comfortable with that. Because he doesn't also know whether it's Blink or DTs 100%.
That's very true.
His probe can't actually see that or know that for certain.
So a very well-rounded response so far from Stork, just getting the rest of his Stalkers out, getting that Blink, and just being safe. Now I'm interested, how aggressive is Squirtle actually going to be with this? We do have the Mothership Core. Oh, excuse me, we have one pylon being made just now, so that gives us a much better idea. I was wondering if he was just going to put on some pressure and then expand himself. But I would feel that Stork should be totally fine with this, actually.
Well, he gets a few shields there for free. He's going to actually get maybe a probe or two here. Might just time warp and run away.
Yeah, most likely.
Doing a little bit of damage and forcing some lost mine time. The Immortals are key in this defense. He's also going to have a few more gates. That Mothership Core will eventually get up to 100 energy, which is going to be helpful too.
Well, with the Immortal already out, I don't know how strong Squirtle's attack can really be. And you can see Squirtle now has the 2 Stalkers still back at home. We don't have warp-ins going on at the proxy pylon. There's a little bit of build ambiguity here from Squirtle. Okay, there he goes. He's going to expand. And this is probably his best bet. The only problem really is that Stork can actually march across the map and attack just into Squirtle, and Squirtle may just lose the game like that.
Yeah, tough to do in this matchup, but if he went soon, there would definitely be a timing there where he might be able to force Squirtle to stay up the ramp. And I think that's what he's going to do, yeah. Well, at least with his Stalkers, maybe keep his Immortals at home and make a Nexus, and then...
Oh, I see. He's just going to take out, the pylon. Now let's see if he goes any further, though. I like the Immortal back at home. It's pretty smart. I mean, let's see a small number of Stalkers decide to counter. Well, I mean, no problem for the Immortal.
True.
Now, these Stalkers coming up here, Stork is assuming that he's not going to end the game with these. By the way, nice move there by... oh, nice... Oh, beat me to it. Can't even play-by-play that. I'm like, but yeah, he's going to come down here. Now, see, the Stalkers are going to counter, but remember, there's an Immortal back there. He should be okay.
Yeah, I mean...
And here, this is a tough one right now, because this is about to finish, right? So this is, does he let it finish and try to save it, or does he cancel because Stork started his own? And here you go. The Immortal's up here, and this is a great job here. Now, he can blink away with those, but still, the Immortal's just too scary. Okay.
I like the choice to keep the Nexus alive with the overcharge there instead of canceling it. I think he kind of has to right now. Now see, though, I mean, he might not be able to hold this. Okay. There's so many Stalkers here. And there's the overcharge in the main as well, actually. He's trapped between a rock and a hard place here, but playing the Immortal is key. And with a few more rounds of Warp-Ins, he might actually just be able to kill that Nexus. It took so much damage already.
This is really technical by Stork. I'm loving what I'm seeing here. I mean, this is... You rarely get to see a game, especially in a mirror matchup, where there's such a balance of offense and defense, while Stork's ahead in every way. I mean, he's played this out so well. There's no real fundamental disadvantage that he's putting himself in. He's just in complete control right now. Really utilizing Blink, utilizing the small number of Stalkers and Sentries here. Now, Squirtle's going to have to get his other Stalkers up here to help defend. Again, nice control there. He needs to get those other Stalkers up there. It looks like the Immortal's going to go down. And let's see here. Who actually wins this fight? Well, I think Stork loses this fight.
He loses the fight, but he trades okay. He just needs to get out of here. Problem is he didn't kill the Nexus. If he kills the Nexus and loses more Stalkers than this, I feel it's more okay.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Now, no, Stork did force Squirtle to make a lot more Immortals, which, by the way, were killed off, while Stork back at home, he only made one other Immortal. Looks like he's going to make a second one just in case there's a counterattack onto him, since Stalkers are a threat now.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, Stork's in great shape. 41 probes to 34 probes? Yeah, I think so. Stork's looking really good.
Yeah, he had to keep picking off those Immortals. I liked how he played this one out. Definitely not a bad choice to move across like that. He didn't overcommit. The Nexus is still low, too, from him poking at it, so he could maybe snipe it later. With even like a Warp-In, like 6 Zealots and a Warp Prism or something when Squirtle's moving out. There's all these things to consider, maybe even with DTs later. Because this game is probably now going to go on for at least 10 more minutes, I would say, maybe even more than that, because this is just how this matchup works. You don't... If both players are up with a Nexus, it's like, okay, when you see both players making a forward, it's like, okay, well, now it's time to build a 200 army with...
Yeah,
not too many Immortals, not too many Colossi. I gotta make sure I have enough Archons. I gotta charge Zealots.
After that battle happens, yeah, Zealot Archon all the way.
Yeah.
We might have 9 Immortals and 9 Colossi. That's happened before on both sides. And then, it's really about that one engagement. Very hard to get that perfect engagement, but we have seen it. And yeah, then it's Zealot Archon.
It's almost like a macro race that they're gonna play right now.
Yeah.
Like who can build at 200 first.
They go to Zealot Archon after this, primarily because it can remake so fast and the damage output's quite good.
This almost reminds me of, do you remember the game type that nobody played in StarCraft 1 called Greed? Where it was like you had to mine 10,000 resources of each and then like you won the game. That was the win condition.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just like, that's kind of how this is. It's like, well, you could attack if you want, but you might as well just rush up to the 200, then you're going to win.
Did they have those other kind of game settings in StarCraft 2? Did they just get rid of those?
I think they got rid of them.
I mean, because when StarCraft 2 came out, I mean, I was straight into like
Capture
ladder
the flag.
customs. Yeah, there was Capture the Flag. What was some of the other weird ones they had?
I know. Well, there's always like melee, top versus
melee,
bottom, team melee.
Yeah.
You could like control your teammates' units. We could just have control for that now in team games. Yeah, team was weird. It's like you spawn with like a Nexus, but you have like 1 drone and like 3 probes or something.
Yeah.
That was fun for a time. I did play that like once or twice.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Well, that was actually a good way to learn from somebody, is you do team melee and just watch them build stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually a good point. You know, it's better than watching replays because he can like explain to you what he's doing at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never really used it for that, but I guess I could have.
Yeah, I use that from time to time when I have people help me in the olden days. Missing him one warp gate there, but otherwise Stork is looking pretty stellar. Let's see though if Squirtle can, you know, pick it back up here. I mean, I got to hand it to Squirtle, by the way. Props for even surviving that initial attack from Stork.
Yeah. Well, he's got a better Archon count, and he's got the faster +2. I think he mined his gas at his natural first or something. He just has a bigger gas bank on top of the things I just listed.
Well,
so.
I think we know with the Stalkers being warped in from Stork, he was more focused on the minerals. So, yeah, you're right. I think Squirtle did go for the gas once he did get that expansion up and running.
Yeah.
And it was, like, safe to actually use.
I think that's why he has just the better tech units for now. Again, they're both going towards that same composition, just different means to the same end. And now,
oh, he just ran into that watchtower vision.
Yeah, that warp prism probably not going to get anything done this time. Actually, making a 5th zealot. Can't fit in there. +2 is done a lot faster here for Squirtle. Spinning chrono boosting that pretty hard. Is Stork actually going to attack into this? I don't know if this is a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, the Squirtle looks very strong right now.
He has no inherent advantage to where I look at this and go, oh, your comp is so much better, you can win this right now.
Right.
Uh-oh, this could be a problem. Only one cannon here. He'll have to warp in units at home.
Yeah, he'll have to warp in some zealots to combat that. Here come those zealots now. Still waiting for that warping to occur.
He might be on cooldown right now. Okay, now he warps them in, but he warps them in right next to it, so actually they're just going to die before they can even finish this off, which is going to force Stork to walk all the way home.
Base trade scenario, possibly. Let's see. Okay, no, Squirtle's going to turn around now. But this is a problem because for almost nothing, Stork gets to take out this base. Squirtle did not take out the base there for Stork. This is why you got to be
back.
Oh my God!
Oh, he snipes the Templar, and here we go. A pretty nice concave here for Squirtle. Let's see, 2 time warps here are decent as well. It just
really
like
helping out against those Archons. One fake Colossus is made here, but it looks like Squirtle's army overall is just a lot stronger here.
He has a lot of Zealots that are tanking, and they're going to push their way through, and that's going to be, well, that's actually not going to be enough as it turns out.
Well, actually, wow, take a look at this. When those Zealots get warped in there, you know, the warp isn't really making a difference right now for Stork. He's sending these Zealots in.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a GG for a little bit there, though. I actually thought Stork was going to lose that fight.
Well, a bunch of Zealots warped in for Squirtle, and I was like, oh my God, he has too many, but then the Stork Zealots came in too, and just overwhelmed it at the end.
A lot of it depends on what unit the Immortal's hitting in those fights as well. Nicely done to Stork. Kind of a funny story here. I think a lot of us were hoping to see Stork get out of the group, but not based off the circumstances of that first best of 3, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a series where Pet should have won by all measure, but Pet ended up throwing the match. He just dropped it. He dropped the ball. Well, a win is a win.
A win's a win, man.
And from there, the PvP, Stork was just the superior player. Yeah, he really had some of the best PvP I've seen in StarCraft II.
He played much better than Squirtle did, especially in Game 2, that early part of the game. That was, like, very well thought of. That's, like, a master tactician who has played so much RTS that he knows exactly what to do in that situation, exactly how much to commit while he's teching up at home and getting his expansion up, managing his economy, but also not pressuring too much, but just having that presence there.
It was very solid. I was quite impressed. Well, we have one person who survived today's group, Group J. Now we're going to see who's going to be the first to be knocked out of Group J after this short break.